Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. Nice to see you today.
Yes. Thank you for coming back and joining us. As we always like to do at the beginning of our chats, we ask for you all to participate and listen with love and kindness. Because if we can be respectful and tolerant of one another, we can do anything together.
Yes, we can. Thanks for the weekly reminder.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, for coming back for another one of our chats. We love doing our chats, and we love you. So thank you for returning. If you're new, welcome. And if you're new, we would love for you to hit that thumb icon, because when you hit that thumb icon, did you know that YouTube will know through the algorithms that you liked our videos, and it will show you more of our videos.
Yes.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our chats every week. Okay.
Yes.
We're going to discuss what tea we're going to be chatting over today.
Yes, we are.
And today we are drinking a brand called Numi organic tea, turmeric 3 roots with ginger, licorice, and rose. And basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Organic ginger, turmeric, and rose. That's all there is in this product. And you know, if you're a regular of ours, before we actually steep it, we like to take it out of the bag and smell the bag. And it smells really good because you can smell the ginger.
Yes.
You can smell the turmeric. But I must point out that we do like to emphasize that turmeric must be paired with pepper.
Right.
And they didn't put that in here because when you have pepper, it's the pepperin that gives you that better absorption of the turmeric.
Absolutely.
So
does it say in there about how long we need to steep it? Because
no, it doesn't. I don't think so.
Well, then that means...
But I just put this bag on the table and pressed it, and the powder came out. So there's residue of powder on the table.
Yeah, so that just lets you know it's really, really good.
It's really good. So we've had it steeping. But it has, I mentioned licorice, right?
Yes.
It has licorice, which is my favorite.
Yes.
Love licorice.
I always like to dunk it to, liven it up a little bit. Give it a little smell.
Smells good.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, nice flavor.
I can actually smell the licorice, bit of the licorice, the ginger, and the turmeric. Not much of the rose.
No.
Well, that's the last in the ingredients.
Well, see, and the turmeric kind of overpowers the rose.
Right. And I don't know if you out there have noticed when you're drinking tea, if you do drink tea, but for tea drinkers, you'll notice that I've noticed a lot of times when the drink gets colder, the flavors come out even more.
Yes, they become more vibrant.
And especially with the licorice, it really stands out when it gets colder.
Yes. All right, so let's get this party started. As we always begin, our thoughts and prayers go out to the world. There is so much going on in the world. The world as we know it is shifting at such a high rate. And we both believe that if we can just focus on love, compassion, kindness, my minister is always telling me, be in the present moment. Don't worry about what is in front of you. Don't worry about what you just did. Just be in the present moment.
And I love you say that because I always mention that. And think of this. Have you noticed, like our pets, dogs and cats?
Yes.
They're always in the moment.
Yes.
Whereas we are always, as humans, when this is our nature, and it's just by default. When we're like making a cup of coffee, tea, or just doing anything, we need to be more present because we're always, the problem with us is that we're always thinking about what happened last week, what happened this morning, or what's going to happen. We're always thinking about the past and the present. So we need to be more present so that we can really fully engage in what we're doing.
Absolutely. So we want you to have that experience. So a lot of people know Lizzo. She is a performer. She's a flutist, and she writes her own music. She is a healthy, curvy girl because she can put on amazing concerts, and she doesn't have to go and get oxygen in between each song. So she's healthy, but she's a curvy girl. And, you know, as we were talking about, she's been being bombarded with negativity. And up to the point where she said, I'm thinking about giving all this up and taking my man and going off to an island. And my hope for her is that you not run away. I am a curvy girl and I am uncomfortable sometimes with what you wear, but I will stand for your right to wear it, because if people don't want to see it, don't come to the concert. You know, it's as simple as that. There have been performers in my past where I thought they were just a little too much, and I was like, I don't need to see that. That's just TMI.
But they're actually bombarding her with negative comments about her weight, right?
Yeah.
Not about what she's wearing.
Yeah,
it's more about her weight.
Well, you know, her weight, and you know, if she's as athletic as she appears in her concerts, why is she so big? Well, that could be a medical situation. It could be anything. Number one, it's her own personal business. Just leave her alone. If you like her music, go to the show. If you don't like her music, don't go to the show. But don't be negative about it, because one of the things that society is eventually going to find out, and if they keep going the way they're going, it's going to be the negative path instead of the more positive in the present moment path. You know, what you think about, you bring about. So if you keep being nasty and going after Lizzo, then somebody's going to come right back behind and go after you.
Just accept her for who she is and what amazing talent she has.
Yes.
So that's all I want to say.
Yes. For all of you Sex and the City fans, I mean, I was a late comer, and I mean, my husband had been watching it for years, and I would walk by, I'd go, what are you watching?
Your husband was watching Sex and the City?
Yes. He loves Samantha. He loved her spunky attitude. He loved the fact that a woman could have male tendencies, because they used to always say that she was like a male whore, you know, because that was her thing. Well, everyone knows that Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall don't really like each other in real life, to the point that that's why they ended the shows. They didn't do any more movies.
Oh, is that right? That's
Yeah.
why Kim Cattrall never came back.
Yes.
I didn't know
and
that.
So, you know, they did the first season of, it's called And Just Like That. Instead of Sex in the City now, because they're in their 50s, it's called And Just Like That. Well, they just announced that Kim Cattrall is coming back.
Wow.
Now, I think coming back. And then this morning, Sarah Jessica Parker says, yes, she's in one scene. And
What?
I thought, oh my God.
That's what I thought. She's coming back, meaning back in
Back
the
into-
whole season.
Yes, to have
Not just
conversation.
one episode.
Scene.
One scene, not even one
Yeah.
episode. One scene.
Yes.
So why make a big fuss about it?
Exactly.
I
And
don't
then
get that.
and then her ex, a lot of us, myself included, I mean, I know she loved Mr. Big. However, Aiden was the sweetheart. Aiden was the one that cared more about her. Aiden is the one that got her to stop smoking, got her to be more health conscious. You know, when she would do things, you know, he would call her on it. You know, he's going to buy her this beautiful engagement ring, and she's going to wear it around her neck, talking about, oh, it's closer to my heart.
Oh,
yeah, everybody knew that was phony. He's coming back. So for you Sex and the City fans, check it out. Let us know what you think.
And when is it coming back?
It starts next week.
Next week.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff going on next week, so it starts next week. Last night was American Got Talent, and they had some interesting characters. Let's say it that way. There were some things that happened, and the opening of the show, there was a character, I think, I could not understand what he was saying. His accent was very heavy, but I think his name was Gabriel, and he was a contortionist on a stripper pole. He did some amazing work, but his costume turned a lot of people off, I'm sure.
His costume was creepy.
Yes,
That's all I can say.
yes. He looked like he was on his way to a Halloween party, if you know what we mean. You know, with the blood and I mean, he was just a hot mess. But his talent was really, really good. There was also, they were called Freedom Singers. And these are people from Los Angeles who have been going through hard time, and they're on Skid Row. And these are people who are trying to bring the message out that everybody in Skid Row is not a bad person.
And what is Skid Row for people that don't know?
Skid Row is where you end up when you don't have anything, when you lose everything. And back in the day, Skid Row was mostly what they would call, they even used the term bums. There were people who didn't want to work. They just liked to hang out on the streets and do their thing. After COVID and just through life in general, that population it blows my mind every day when I'm driving down the road. I'll like say there's traffic and I'll get off one street and I'll go down and I'll go, oh my God. I was just driving down a street this morning and there's this big, huge FedEx, warehouse, huge. There must be 20, 30 FedEx trucks. They have all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, there's a street and I look and it's full of mobile homes.
Wow. With
transients and little camp things.
Mobile homes or tents?
Both.
Oh, both.
Yes, but it's so many of them. I'm shocked I never noticed it before.
Wow.
Right off of Trimble Road.
No, sometimes 1 minute you can be driving and it looks fine in the street. The next time you go by, you're right. There's all these homeless people because that's what happened near my neighborhood. And it's very sad on the way to the freeway to 280. The next time I look and there's all these homeless. Yeah. But since COVID, they cleaned it up.
Well, that's
They took it all out and they put fencing and they made it into a nice area with gravel and trees and stuff like that. So all the homeless have gone. But you're right. Everywhere I look, on the freeway, you'd be surprised if you live in California. Look on the freeways, off the freeways when you get off the freeway
and the ramps. Look underneath the ramps. You will be shocked. And the thing for me is they don't even care. They stand out there in sponge bath with no clothes. They don't care. And that to me says that there's some mental health issues also going on. I know there's some people who are like, I don't care and I just want to live off the land, sort of like the flower people back in the hippie days, when they would be skipping around and being happy. But these people are not all happy.
But some of them, they choose to live there because if they had a choice to get off, they would say, no, I don't want to leave. Right. So for us who don't live on the streets, we don't understand. Well, I don't understand their thinking of this, but that's what they choose to do. And I think it's very sad. Yeah. So these singers came from that environment and they were, one young girl said, I think Simon asked her, it was either Simon or Howie said, are you homeless? And she said, I was. So this is showing that you can, if you are in that world and you want to get out and, you do the best you can and you're always as conscious as you can cycle out of it. And that's what they wanted to bring, to value. They even sung a song that was based on that experience. So that was a little different. And then there was, it's called LA Fire and Rescue. And there was this guy and he comes out and he says, I brought a few people with me. He brought 65 people with him. And then they did this, they all blindfolded themselves and they did these synchronized movements. What was really nice was that he was in front. Yes. He didn't have himself blindfolded, but they were all in the back, all in rows. Yes. Like a choir. And all in black with black and then they put their masks on and they start doing all these moves. But it's very similar to when you're in a stadium and you see people doing the wave. Yes. But a lot of times when you do the wave, you have to see what other people are doing to know when to wave. When to wave. But they did this all blindfolded, which I thought was pretty good. And it looked amazing. Yeah. Because what they did was they incorporated their moves with his moves. Yes. So it looked really, really good the way they had done it. So they got through, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do next to make it bigger and better. Because Howie, he's like, I cannot think of what I would do, and he's standing up. And I went, oh, I know where he's headed. So he gave them the golden buzzer. So they went all the way through. They did get the golden buzzer. And there were some other acts, and we're just gonna give you some time to share. Right down below. Tell us, what did you think? Did you see someone that made you go, oh, this person should have made it through? There was some weird people there. We're not even going to talk about it because they don't need any airtime. Because I think sometimes people use that as a joke. They know they're no good. They know the talent isn't there. And they do it just to get the publicity for that short 2-3 minutes. Yes. As if that meant something.
So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to start putting in a little tip of the day. So today we're going to add a little health tip for you.
Yes, so my health tip today is to drink more water and stay hydrated. Did you know that you have to drink at least half your body weight in ounces at minimum per day? So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking a minimum of 50 ounces a day. Why do we want to drink water? Because it tastes good? No, it's water has no taste, but some people like it and some people don't. A tip is the reason why we want to drink is to stay hydrated, and also the more water you drink, the more toxins get flushed out of your system. And a good way to tell if you're drinking enough water is if your urine is transparent. If it's yellow or orange color, that means that you're not drinking enough water. And a good tip is if you don't like plain water, try and add some fruits to it.
Yes.
Infuse some fruits, some mint, some cucumbers.
Essential oils.
Essential oils, yes. Grapefruit oil, orange oil, whatever oil, licorice oil,
I love lemon, and so I'm always
and
doing
you only
that.
need 3 drops for a whole container, thermos flask of it.
Yes.
So drink your water and stay hydrated, and to flush out your toxins.
And that is especially important for people. The United States is going through this swoosh of weather. It's cold. I mean, they were even talking about snow flurries, and I'm going, what?
Crazy.
Up in the, like Washington, Oregon, and then the top part of California is a little nippy. And then it comes on down where we're having a nice pattern. It has been a little cold. It's supposed to warm up really good today. But the center of the country, Texas, they're on fire. Texas, it always gets hot in the summer in Texas, but that's like July, September. This is June. This is mid-June. And they're expecting over the next 2 weeks, all triple digits in the high, like 100 to 104. And they're saying that with the humidity, some days it's going to feel like 125. So they really, yes, they really, really need to hydrate. They need to make sure that they're drinking in a lot of fluids. And when we say hydrate, hear me, I am not talking about pops, not talking about Cokes and Sprites and all that stuff. We're talking about water. Because even though I have an aunt that she didn't like the taste of water, and she passed out one day at work, and they were like, she's dehydrated. And she looks at them and she goes, what are you talking about? She goes, I drank all day long. And she did, but she was drinking Sprite or 7-Up. I think she was drinking 7-Up. And that was her, she thought that was water. And, the paramedics are like, that is not water.
That's water and sugar and other stuff that your body doesn't need.
Yes.
And one more thing I have to say, if you get thirsty, if you get to the point where you're thirsty, that means that you're overextending yourself, because you can't be drinking when you get thirsty. You have to drink way before then. Once you get to that point, you've pushed the limits.
Yes. And there's also, so Texas is here. So California, we're here. Texas is sort of in the middle, lower part of the country. And then off from Texas, they are just being bombarded with rains, 3 to 6 inches of rain a day. So everything looks like it's just in like a little river. Now, they just got through going through those tornadoes, and that was just detrimental. I mean, I've been around tornadoes, but the tornadoes would bounce. So they would hit the ground and they would bounce. These tornadoes, they hit the ground and they cover. So we, in our community, maybe one neighbor lost their house, and then all the men in the neighborhood would help them fix their house and repair it. So it was bad, but the house was normally still there. These people, there's no house. They're just, they look like toothpicks where they used to have houses. I mean, this man was pointing out one day on television, and he goes, you see where that boat is there? He goes, that used to be my house. The whole house is gone. So you can't even recover your pictures, your clothing, everything they have is gone. That's, even though they say, oh, we're not going through global warming. Yes, we are. And so Atlanta and what is that? Charlotte, Atlanta, all the way to North Carolina, they are in the midst of all this rain right now. So we here in California, we went through a lot of rain, and we're having like high onset allergy season. I mean, every day I see somebody, and you know, last week on the video, I had like a little allergy attacks, and I have them all the time. It's just the pollen. It's everywhere. If you put your car, like you park your car in front of your house and you leave it there for a couple of days, you can go by and just, it's yellow. There's a light yellow film on the car. So weather-wise, make sure you continue to hydrate. If you are in California and you're outside and your allergies are affecting you, put on a mask. It is not a bad thing to wear a mask. You know, because of COVID, everyone's like, why you got to wear a mask? What's wrong with you? Don't let anyone intimidate you.
I think everyone needs to take responsibility of their own health.
Yes.
And talking about all this weather, people don't believe it, but I was listening to a morning show and they say this is a human, they said a phrase and it really struck me. I said, that's correct. That's the word I wanted to use. I forget what it was, like human-made global warming.
Yeah.
It was something like that, which means they're saying that us humans,
we did this.
We are doing this to our planet, to our globe, and it's not going to get any better if we don't do anything to fix it.
Absolutely. And, you know, trying to run away to a different, you know, you're in this solar system, but, we're going to go and live on Mars. So what are you going to do? If you don't learn how to take care of the one you got, going forward, you're not going to learn anything and you're going to make the same mistakes. So let's just focus on doing the right thing. You know, we always tell you every week we hate talking about it, and that's the topic of mass shootings. The reason that we continue to talk is that we do not want us to ever get desensitized that we think it's okay. It is not okay. We had mass shootings over the weekend in Washington State, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Southern California, Milwaukee, and Baltimore, just to name a few. And I'm talking about, like in Southern California, it was a pool party, kids, 17 to 24 in age. Somebody got mad at somebody, pulled out a gun. It's getting very dangerous here in Northern California to just be in your car going to the grocery store. You never know. There's certain freeways where every day, so far today, we've had 2 shootings where people are just driving their car. We have to figure out how to reprimand people who are breaking the law. And like I've shared with you, there's conversations because most of the people doing the shooting are under the age of 18. So they are minors. So when they turn 18, their records get expunged. And so to them, I'm just hanging out with my friends having fun. I think it should be if you do the crime, you do the time. So if you are doing something that you know is wrong and you get reprimanded for it, I don't think a birthday should change that crime. The district attorney in Oakland is kind of hitting a lot of people in the face because she thinks that people have been prosecuted so hard that even when people are guilty, she doesn't want to prosecute them now. So there was a young man that was 17, but what he did, and it was like multiple times, he has taken lives. And she was like, no, when he turns 18, his record will be expunged and we will not prosecute him.
Wow.
That's just 360. That's not even 180. That's just 2 full circle. It's too much. We have to get our children to realize that you cannot just do bad things and expect good results. So in the UK, as an example, New Zealand. So in New Zealand, there was a mass shooting. Okay? The citizens, because what this one was, is there were, 51 worshipers at a mosque were shot. 51 by a white supremacist. They immediately started working on laws to regulate. And what they did is they came up with laws that gives the people in their country 6 months to turn in their guns to the government. They're like sellback. We do sellbacks here in the Bay Area all the time. $200 for a gun, no questions asked. You just take the gun and they give you the money. They are giving them time to turn the guns in. When the law goes into full effect, if they are caught as citizens with a gun, they can do anywhere from 3 to 6 years in jail and $500,000 to $1 million. What are those? They're not dollars. They are whatever their money is. 1 million Syrian pounds. So they are taking actions to make sure that people are going to be held accountable for their action. So if they can have one, and Norway, same thing. There are other countries right now rapidly putting in gun control, laws to ensure that the citizens of the country are safe. Why can't the United States do something? If these other countries can do it after one, why can't we?
Yeah, that's the $6 million question.
Yeah.
We don't know why.
The only thing we
talking about this, and
the only thing I can ever think of is it's got to be money.
It has to be money, and yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. And no, actually, the other thing I think of is that a lot of people think it's their right.
Oh, it's that amendment right, the Second Amendment.
To bear arms, and they think that there's nothing wrong with having guns.
Right.
Which is why a lot of people choose to live in the states they live in, because they know they can carry guns around.
Like in Texas, you don't even have, like right now in Texas, you do not have to have a license to carry a gun. So what that means is that now a child, a 10-year-old child, can go in mommy and daddy's bedroom, go in the closet, get the gun, put the gun in their little backpack and take it to school.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We've been talking about this many times. Not the first time we talked about this, and something's got to be done.
Yes.
Because every week we're talking about mass shootings.
Yeah.
It is now, I would say. It's not becoming, it is a normal life activity that we're just talking about, just like life itself.
And my prayer for the latest is Gen X, right? Gen Z. So Gen X and Gen Z, you're our babies, you're our future. You're coming into the age where you can vote. Please use the power of your vote to say enough. Many children have shared with me they hate going to school and having to do a drill every day of getting under a table or getting in a closet or hiding. They have to go through metal detectors. There's all this negativity. Schools should be a safe haven. There should be, when you drop your child off for school and you say goodbye, there should be no doubt in your mind when you come back at 3 p.m. to pick up your child's going to come running outside and tell you what a great day they had. So we can stop this. We just have to vote to stop it. If people are in office in your states and they are going yah-ha-ha-hoo for guns and you do not like that, then you vote their butts out and send them home. And I keep hearing, young people who've gone through these massive shootings at schools say, if you don't do something to protect us, we are going to vote you out and send you home. Exactly. Now, the people in office think, oh, these are just cute kids. What are they talking about? I want them to show what you're talking about.
Well, the kids are our next generation, so they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So
they don't want to grow up in the life is too short. And if you're practicing what we suggest of being in the present moment, then you just don't have time for all this violence. Yeah. It's got to go. So there is a company called Ocean Gate, and they run these expeditions. So what they do is they put you in a submarine and they take you down, what is it, 125? No, maybe it's 1,025 feet down the ocean to where the Titanic is, where it sank.
So this is a tour company specifically for that?
Yes, that's what they do. So there were 5 people on a submarine that dove on Friday, and it disappeared. So there are 5 people on the sub, They aren't getting any communications with the sub. They don't know what's going on with the people. They've had divers. They have sonic equipment out listening for pings from the sub. They're not getting anything. Earlier this morning, for the first time, they actually heard tapping. Yesterday, they heard tapping and then it stopped. So they don't know if the tapping, because sometimes you can tap Morse code. If you know Morse code, you can tap and that way they'll know. So they're going to spend more of their time because they have until tomorrow to find these 5 people.
Because that's as much oxygen as they have left available to them.
Yeah, and after that they will run out of oxygen. So our thoughts and prayers are with the rescuers that they're going to somehow hear them, find them, and get them out. Because that would just be sad.
Yeah, we all need to pray that they do. Yeah.
Because there's a father, son on board. There is a gentleman on board that does a lot of excursions. He's a scientist. He's always looking at, you know, our world in total and where we are and where we want to be and what we can do. So there's some very, very talented individuals on that sub. So we hope they're going to be okay and make it home soon. So everybody's looking for a quick fix. Nobody wants to do the work anymore. You know, we're having conversations all the time with you about AI, because every time we turn around, somebody's setting up something new. I got a notice from a credit card company that says, we're going to start using AI technology to make your experience with us better.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, no, you're not. Not for me. That's not for me. It's for you. Because what they can do is they can use like Chat GPT to do customer responses.
Yes, they do that now. It's called chatbot.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that before? On
No.
a website, I'll go. So this is a good one, Facebook.
Okay.
Because I got my Facebook hacked in April. Took a long time to try and even get to talk to someone. They don't want you to talk to anyone.
Right.
Took me days and days to figure out how to reclaim my Facebook, because the person that hacked it changed my password and my email and my phone number associated with it. So I couldn't even go in and enter those to change my password. Round and around and round, and eventually my husband sent me this link or something, and then I was trying to input something and they ask you for your ID, your California driver's license, and all of a sudden this chatbot comes up, and I'm like, what is this? It looks like a like, you know how you can chat to someone in the company,
right?
So I started chatting to someone, and it's actually, no, before that chatbot was someone live. I'm talking about something else they use, where when you put something in, you think you're speaking to a live person, but really it's just standard answers that chatbot is spewing out
to you.
So if you have something more specific, they really can't answer those questions, which is kind of annoying to me, because I want someone live, because usually you can speak to someone live,
and you can figure it out working together,
It was only after days and days, and then I finally got to this chatbot which was speaking to someone who could actually help me directly one-on-one. But yes, there are a lot of companies using that because they'd rather do that than hire someone, because it costs less money. They can just spew out generic answers to your questions. And
I think in the long run, though, that's going to bite them in the butt, because people are going to get frustrated and you're going to leave.
It's very frustrating. If you have a specific question and they're not answering it, and you're trying your hardest to explain it to them, and they just all they know is, well, this and this, A, B, C, then you're in trouble, right?
So this is just, you know, technology and having a conversation. On the other hand, we have people who want a quick fix diet. And right now it's Ozempic. They have Ozempic ads all over the place.
We talked about that last week, and we're going to talk about it again, because now there's companies coming out and they're making products. Compound pharmacies are making products with compound ingredients, and the main ingredient in Ozempic and some of the other brand names is a
is it the Wago?
It's a semi-glutide. Semi-glutide is the active ingredient, and actually Ozempic is actually filing a lawsuit. Because they're saying that these other companies that are coming out with it claim that they have this ingredient, this main ingredient, and they don't. And the other thing is that if people choose of their own accord to use these companies,
right,
then they are not liable, because they say that they can't really say what's inside these drugs,
right,
and also it is not FDA compliant.
Yep.
So there could be a whole bunch of side effects which they have no control of.
Right.
So that's why Ozempic and the other large companies are actually suing them. And I don't like the fact that just because you see Ozempic used for diabetes and as a side effect they're losing weight, people are jumping on that bandwagon for a quick fix. They're not putting the work into doing that. Because I get annoyed, because here I am as a health coach wanting to help people understand and become healthy, not just a quick fix.
Right.
And they gave an example of a lady. She's been using this because she can't get the brand name because it's so expensive. It's not Ozempic, but another brand name. It costs about $16,000 annually out of pocket expenses.
Wow.
Compared to her paying for this compound pharmacist off-brand $300 a month.
Right. And there was a woman, and it could have been the same one. She was upset that her insurance company wouldn't cover it. Well, you're not a diabetic. And people using these products, they were only making so many for people with diabetes.
Right.
You're now taking people who need Ozempic to live, and you're using it because you don't want to exercise.
Because being diabetic, some people find it hard to actually reverse that, or to understand how to get off the sugars or so that's what it's there for. And it's just a plus that the weight loss was one of the side effects.
It's a side effect.
I just don't like that, because it goes back to like people doing these fad diets like keto. I'm losing weight with keto, but the real reason why keto came about was not to lose weight. But what we're saying is people like a quick fix.
Right.
And this is what it's come to, where companies are making these products that have not been FDA approved. So if you're one of those people like to have a quick fix, do your research before taking it, because you don't know what kind of health effects or side effects are going to come with these products.
Yeah, because some people are losing weight, and some people are starting to have physical, medical complications. You know, I just can't tell you, like Rosetta said, you know, we talk about this a lot, and we're constantly telling you, do your research. Don't just, you know, oh, my girlfriend did it, and if she did it, I can do it. Do your research. Know for yourself what is in the product. What could the product do to you? What are the side effects?
And I think $300 a month is still expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, for her, she was like, oh, $1,600, $300. Okay, I'll go 16. Oh, no, I'll go 300.
Crazy.
Very. So, I am a football girl. I love me some football. And I watch a little basketball every now and then because I love to see talent. Like, to me, during COVID, they put out this documentary about Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And it went through all the year. I mean, my husband kept saying, why are you in here? And I was like, I don't know. But I was just riveted to see this Langley kid grow into Mike. To watch him take a basketball, put it in his hands, turn around in the air, feet are off the ground, and slam that ball. I love that. So there is a young man, and his name is Victor Wembanyama.
Well,
is it Wembanyama?
It's Wembanyama.
Yeah, Wembanyama. Okay, he's French. And you know, he is 7'3" at 19 years old. That is fantastic in itself. He was interviewed by Robin Roberts in Paris, and they went out to eat. And you know, he was giving her French lessons, which I thought was so cute. You know, because she walks up and she goes bonjour. And he's getting ready to hit her with it because the way she said,
speak it.
Yeah, the way she said bonjour wasn't like bonjour. You know, like, you know, people that can't speak it, they go bonjour, and it's like
merci.
Yes, and it's not. And so he was telling her, he said, I almost started speaking French to you. But what I love about him is he is a very level-headed young man. Because he's 7'3", and I bet you the only person I could think of that could probably relate is Shaq.
Shaq,
because
right.
when you are growing, they show, did you see the picture of his little, he's in school and all the kids are here and he's that tall over the kids. So his body growth has been like just rocketing. LeBron James said that he's an alien. He's like, he goes, the things he do, he's just an alien.
It's crazy. And he is actually, he has slated, because they have the picks tomorrow, right?
Yes, the NBA picks are tomorrow.
And he is the biggest NBA prospect since LeBron James.
That's right.
And they're suspecting that he might be taken up by the, what team is it? By the San Antonio Spurs.
Yes. And see, San Antonio Spurs has first pick. Now, the reason that there's some ambiguity here is they don't know, because sometimes when you have first pick, you can trade your first pick and you can say, I'll trade you my first pick if you give me your second pick and your third pick and then one pick next year. So the GMs and the coaches, they do all this backdoor negotiatings. However, there was a previous player that came from France and he was picked by the Spurs. So everybody is thinking he's going to go number one. And just for him to make it, for consideration of number one, he was sitting with his mom and dad and he had his little hands in his face in his hands, and he's just such a good young man. This is what I like to see.
His mentality is beyond the age of 19.
Absolutely.
And he's so nice, I'm telling you. And he's cute as well, which helps. He's cute.
Yes. No denying that. And what I really love about him is people are very quick to put you in a box. You know, if you look like this, if your skin is too dark, if you're like this. And he opens his mouth, and when you're 19, you're kind of, a little flaky, but that's just being 19. And I was like Robin, because she was like, he is so bright.
He really is like a young man. My son is 19.
Yes.
And he's not childish, but he's no means the mentality of this guy here. And what I love about him is that he knows what hard work is. He's been putting hard work he's now in the French pro basketball team.
Yes.
So he's in a good team now.
Yes.
And he knows what it is, because Robin Roberts asked him, like, he's been working towards this since he was young, right?
Right.
So, and some people don't think that he can actually, like, yes, you might be chosen for the NBA, but are you ready to really put the work into it day in, day out?
Yeah.
And he said, I'm accustomed to this because I've been working for the last how many years.
Yes.
And I didn't get to where I am by not doing anything.
Absolutely. And as he goes in as an example, I have always wanted to play in the NBA. That is why he speaks perfect English. He is a Frenchman. When he speaks French, you can tell he is authentically French. And when he would speak English to Robin, it was very clear. You could understand.
It was clear in the French accent.
Yes.
Just love him. I'm excited to see who picks him. If the San Antonio Spurs really pick him.
Yes.
Because I don't know. There was something else I was going to say that, let me see. Oh, his dad and mom, they were, his mom was an ex-basketball player and now Little League coach, and the dad was a former long jumper. Yeah. So he did come from a very athletic family, and even LeBron James said he's a generational talent.
Yes.
That's what he said.
So he's going to be the kid to watch when the new season of the NBA starts, no matter where he is. And along the same lines, LeBron James, after the last season, said he's going to think about it, because what he wants to do, his own personal goal, is to play basketball in the pro with his son. His son, whoever gets his son, will probably be given an opportunity to get LeBron James, maybe for only a season.
Wouldn't that be a sight to see?
Yeah.
I would love to see that. And whichever team, I wish that the Warriors would get him. But I don't think that's
tomorrow night, we're going to see.
Well, I don't know if they have money for him. I really don't know, because they have a lot of good players that they're paying good money to now.
Absolutely. So, but then by tomorrow, we will know.
I know.
We will know.
We will.
So the other thing we wanted to share with you all today and talk a little bit about is the, you know, when you're young and you're going to work and people say, you know, we're going to have a 401k. And I remember, you know, and I'd be like, no, I'm good. And then one time a friend of mine told me, she says, you work for a company that does a dollar for dollar match. You would be crazy not to get into the 401k. What that means is if I put $5 in, Intel put $5 in. If I put 100,000 in, Intel would put 100,000. I mean, that's like good free money. But when you think about retirement, have you ever stopped and thought, well, what do I need to retire? What do I need to have the quality of life that I currently have without having to worry about where am I going to get my next check? You know, a lot of the people, the transients who are on the streets, they had investments, and some of them, their investments didn't last. So what do you think about retirement? Share your comments below, because, you know, retirement is important.
It is, and I tell you, our school system, we don't teach people about money and taxes and finances.
Right.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people slip up on, because they either hear it hearsay and they get misled. There's too many people giving you financial advice. They don't know what the real advice is.
Right.
And I like it when people explain things clearly, simply, and get to the point. And it's practical. It's not foo-foo, the language they use. There was this one lady on Good Morning America, and she actually retired herself within 5 years. And she said, basically what you need to do is spend less than you earn.
Right.
That was her little, you know, motto.
Because she started out spending, you know, she said that the reason she got into debt is she was living above her means. You know, like, when you're young, people will say, and this used to happen to me a lot, so I know. And Wednesday afternoon, they said, well, why don't we go to dinner tonight? And I go, okay. And then Thursday would come around and they'd say, well, why don't we go and check out that new, you know, that new club? They have ladies' nights on Thursdays. And you go, okay. And then Friday, you would go and have dinner, and then you'd go to the club because it's Friday night, and you'd be,
and it's the end of the week, and you want to just kick back and relax.
And you know, and then you know, at a certain point, I got myself an envelope, and I started putting cash in the envelope. When the envelope was empty, the partying had to stop, because it's so easy, and it's real easy now, to just take and tap a credit card.
Oh yeah, all the tap here, tap there, Apple Pay here, Apple Pay there.
I think that's a disconnect, because, you know, I run tests all the time where I'll put like $100 and I'll do a couple of 20s and 10s and 5s and 1s and watch how fast the stack disappears. And my son, you know, he's a tap kid. And he'll go, I'll say, oh, can you do me a favor? And this is just, can you go to the store and give me this? And he'll come back and he goes, okay, Mama, the stuff is here. And then he'll give me the money back. And I'll go, what's the matter? He goes, nothing, I just, you know. And I go, no, you messed the whole lesson. I want you to learn. Because when you start handing out money, it changes your thought process.
Having the physical money and seeing it dwindle down every time you spend, as opposed to tapping and not seeing the balance, is two different things.
Right.
So as young, if you're watching or you're a parent, we need to start teaching our kids now. And what you need to teach them is when they get a job, their very first paycheck, even if they're working part-time as a summer job or through high school or college, they need to, what you really need to do, if you're proactive, is to teach your kids, as soon as you get your paycheck, decide a percentage of what you want to invest or save.
Right.
And just take that straight out. Don't even bother to even look at it. If it's 10%, or if it's $100, let's say, or $50,
and if you
take it out.
You can also talk to your payroll companies and say, I want $100 every month off the top of my paycheck before I get the check to go to this savings account.
Yeah, because they allow you to do that, the percentage in your checkings and a percentage in your savings.
Yes.
So you should do that so you never see it.
Yes.
Ever see it. And then that's why Social Security is so clever, because and your insurance and stuff, because they take it right off the top. So you don't ever see it, and what you get left is what you can spend. So if you set your goals to doing that, over many times, you'll be saving a lot of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So she was a great example of looking into retirement. Like, I know people who retire and they don't pay off their house. And I know people who retire and they pay it off because they're like, I don't want to have to worry about bills. I don't want nobody knocking on my door.
Yeah.
Now, the people who pay it off have a sense of accomplishment.
Right.
It's done. I don't have to worry about it. However, financial planners will tell you, don't ever pay your house off. If you have the money, put the money in the bank, have the checks auto paid so you never have to worry about it, but keep that transaction going, because you know, as long as you're having to do taxes, you need something to offset income. And that's what payments like that will do.
Right.
But you were telling me that you saw some information about a gentleman.
Yes. So I was going to say that if you are interested and you're not very good at explaining things to your child, but you want them to learn, then a very good YouTube channel to go to is called Minority Mindset. Google that, Minority Mindset. Yes. And it's by his name is Jaspreet Singh.
And we'll put the link
down
below.
I'll put the link below. And he's actually a lawyer, but he educates on financial businesses and how entrepreneurship and money and investing and retiring. But he does it in a way that is so simple and easy to grasp. And he does many videos throughout the week. And some of them short, some of them are long. But there are so many financial educators out there.
Yes.
And I've watched so many. And the way he does it is the way that I would want to teach my child. So I only learned about him a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to start sharing these videos with my son, who is 19. So hopefully all of you take the time to go and check him out and subscribe to his channel, because he is precise, accurate, and he says it like it is. But it's simple, and in the way that you're like, oh my God, he's so good. This is what should be taught at schools.
Yes.
So that's what it is, Minority Mindset, and it'll be in the link below, in the comments.
And the other thing is diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that's what a good financial planner will teach you.
Yes, exactly.
I almost made it all the way through without hacking. So, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. We want you to know that we feel the love. We're so grateful to have your support. We thank you very much for sharing your time with us. We hope we share something that gives you an aha moment every week.
Yes, and if you love our chats and want to comment or have anything you want us to chat about, put it in the comments below and we'll check it out. But we love it when you come and support us.
Yes.
And thank you so much. And remember, if you are new to our channel, or if you've been watching us for a while and haven't done so, we'd love for you to hit that thumb icon.
Yes.
That tells us that you've watched it, and the algorithm in Facebook YouTube will give you more videos if you thumbs up it.
Yes.
Subscribe to our channel. We'd love that support.
Yes.
And hit the bell notification. That means you'll be alerted when the chats are ready to be viewed. Thank you, everyone, so much. We are Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea.
And remember to always keep smiling.
Bye. Take care.